Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to set up for our puzzle project. And we're going to talk about dropping an image into AutoCAD here. So this should be a fun little assignment. First thing I'm going to do is actually set my document up like we've done before. So first thing I'm going to do is type in units. There you go. Units. And here we go. I need to be architectural and say OK. Next, I'm going to type in my limits. My limits, we're going to be using our 10 inch by 10 inch border. So 0 tab, and then 10 inch, 10 inch, and press enter. I'm going to come over here to my snap settings. And in my snap settings, I'm going to leave my snap off at the moment. I'm going to change my grid here to 1/4 inch. And change my major lines to every 4. That way I have a major line on every inch. And turn off display grid beyond limits. And I will say OK. And here we go. I now have my grid. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up a couple layers. There we go. First layer, I want to call this one my cut lines. Cut lines. Now, my cut lines, I want to go ahead, knowing that, and I guess I should tell you, the image itself, you're going to want in a black and white image or a grayscale type image. The reason for that is going to do the best when we actually send it over to the laser. So for this, I actually want to make my lines themselves, though, blue. And that way it shows best over top of this black and white image. So I'll go with a blue color. And for my line weight, I'm going to go with 0.05 millimeters. If you're in inches here, then go with 0.02 inches. And I will say OK. So that's the line weight for this layer. I'm going to create another layer. This new one is going to be called my image layer. Image. I'm just going to change this back to white. So OK. And I'm going to change my line weight to default. There we go. So this is how you want your properties to look. Cut lines, make them blue or some type of color that you think is going to stand out well over top of this black and white image. Set your default line weight to 0.05 millimeters. For your image, again, I just changed that back to white because it's default. And where our line weight, I'm just leaving that back to default. And that is done. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jump over to my cut lines. And I want to make a cut line so I know where my outside edge is. I'm going to grab the rectangle tool. For my first point, I could click on the image, but I know that I'm going to want to have a 1/4 inch border all the way around this thing. So let's just go ahead and put it in there. 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. This is my lower left. Inch, tab, enter. Then how big do I want this thing to be? Knowing that I want a 1/4 inch all the way around and a 1/4 inch from the bottom and a 1/4 inch from the top takes off a 1/2 inch. So it's going to be a 9.5 inch by 9.5 inch box. So 9 1/2 inch, tab, 9 1/2 inch, tab. And there we go. There we go. So in this blue, I now have my outside border to my puzzle. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and jump over to my image layer. And I want to go ahead and insert an image. So you go across the top here to the tabs, go to the insert tab, and inside the ribbon, you now see this attach. This is what we're going to use to bring in the image. So we click on attach. It's going to ask you for a file. At this point, you should already have a file. Let's go and look for one real quick. I did a search already. I just did one for technical drawings. And if you do a Google search, a really cool thing is up here, you can go to your tools. It drops this down, and you can change your color to black and white. And then put in here what it is you want. I actually kind of found this neat little Lego figure. and it happens to be square, which is really going to help me out because my image area is square. Otherwise, I'd be trying to work with things outside of it, and you have to cut the image down. So try to find an image that's square, make your life easier. Or whatever you have. If it's not square, just realize that you want it to somehow fit inside this 10 by 10 board. So once I find this, I'm just going to right click on it and I'm going to save image as. I'm just going to put this right on my desktop. You want to put it in your folder that you leave your images. And I'm going to call this one Lego image for puzzle. All of that. It's a simple little JPEG. Now I can come back here and insert or attach, go to wherever you saved it, Lego image for puzzle. It's mine. And it's going to bring up our attach window. So most likely your screen looks like this. It has specify on screen checked, has specify on screen also for scale checked. I want you to uncheck the insertion point. Knowing that we have this 1/4 inch border all the way around and we want our image to go outside of it. This is assuming you actually do want your image to go outside of it. I have this little bit of space all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, hey, I want to go outside of this thing just a little bit. So I'm going to go with a 1/4 inch, a 1/4 inch, a 1/4 inch. What that's going to do is it's going to put, knowing that my line starts at, I'm sorry, not a 1/4. I want to go with an eighth. My bad. Eighth by an eighth. There we go. Knowing that my cut line is at a 1/4, if I start at an eighth, this is going to put an eighth of an inch of my image outside of this cut line. So I'm not going to have some type of weird or colors or something like that going, or some weird open space. There we are, uh, showing up. So I'm going to say eighth by an eighth. My scale, I'm going to leave that to specify on screen. And rotation, I will leave that at 0. I'll be happy. And here we go. Now I can start go ahead and just scaling this thing up. I got outside of my box and I click and my image is there. The neat thing is you can see that my image does not go past this the border of my 10-inch box anywhere. Very good. And if I hover over top and find that blue line, there it is. So I can see what is actually going to be on my puzzle. And this is, I think, exactly what I want. Now, to make my life easier, I want to go ahead and send this image all the way to the back. That way uh, my puzzle pieces, I can see what I'm doing. So real quick, let's grab this puzzle. There we go. And then I'm going to right click on it, come down to draw order, and I'm just going to send it to the back. And now I can see that cut line that I have there. At this point, you are able to go back to our home tab. I can go back to my cut lines and start drawing my cut lines on my puzzle. And I'll be able to see what I want. For this assignment, you need to have a 100-piece puzzle. And do not make a square by square, like some type of rank and file where you have 10 across, 10 down. These need to be individualized pieces. They need to be different from each other. So do not copy and paste in this thing and have fun with this puzzle. Some of the best puzzles I've seen done have swirl patterns in them and all sorts of really fun shapes. You can actually inlay a shape inside of your shape if you wanted to. Have fun with this. I will tell you that if you do go with a 10 by 10 and just do squares and stuff like that, your grade will be drastically reduced. So again, have fun with this. At this point, all you're doing is drawing lines, have them connect to the different lines so you don't have any open spaces. If there are any questions, please let me know.